me go ahead and pin this title. So I'm going to be talking about tips that will help you to avoid heartache. Dating does not have to be super, super, super painful. So I'm going to let you guys come in, get settled, and then we're going to just start right away talking about a couple of dating tips that are really good. If anyone here is watching for the first time, go ahead and comment the word newbie and let me know your city and state where you're watching. If this is not your first live stream, comment OG and let me know where you are watching from. I see some familiar faces like Tay, good to see you. Danny, nice to see you. But let me know. And we are going to start off. I'm going to give you 3 tips that will help you really avoid heartache when it comes to dating. All right. So drop me your city and state. If it's your first time watching, comment newbie. If it's not your first time, you can comment OG. And if you want to let me know where you're watching from, do so. Hello, Drew. Hello, Coach. Oh, hey, Coach Jay. I was like, Jay. Hey, Coach Jay. And let's see, Wendy. Oh, Wendy's a newbie from Toronto. Nice. Pastor Brian is watching newbie. Hey, from Riverside. Hey, West Side. Cali girl here. Okay, I see you in the IE. And we got Candid Conversations with V from Georgia. Very nice. And Party Pink is an OG. Very nice. Okay, I saw OF. I'm like, OnlyFans. Just kidding. All right, so let's get into this. I want to share some tips. I've got my notes over there, so if you see me glancing, that's why. Newbie from New Jersey. Oh, thank you. Congratulations on my engagement. Thank you so much. I be forgetting every now and then. I'm a whole fiance. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to go into is, this is something that I covered today in my post. If a man says at the very beginning that he doesn't want a relationship, or he says phrases like, let's just see how things go, right? Let's just take it a day at a time. Now, here's the difference. Some men, if you ask, what are you dating for? What's your purpose in dating? They will hear, dating me, even if you don't say dating me. What is your purpose in dating me? And they'll say, well, I don't know. I'll just have to kind of see. But there's a difference. Men can know if they are in a place where they are ready to take that leap. They're ready to be in a committed relationship. And they know if they're not ready to be in a committed relationship. And so when you're talking to a guy, you can always ask him at the beginning and say, hey, if you met your dream girl, hey, if you met someone that you really clicked with, what is it that you're looking to do with dating? Because guys are always scared about making a commitment when they don't even know you, right? So he might be looking to get married, like he's open to getting married, but you might not be the one for him. So you could just ask that after, some time has gone on. Hey, what is your purpose for dating? Are you just having fun? Are you hoping to meet your forever person? What have you? What would you do if you met the person that you really liked? And so if he says things like, I'm just going with the flow, I just want to have fun, or straight out, I don't want a relationship, do not fall into the trap that a lot of women have, which is, well, he's never met me. He's never met me. And you start assessing your chemistry. Your chemistry can be on point. And here's the thing that women have to understand, how men are so different than women. Men can literally feel like they met the love of their life. Men could literally feel like this is the one, but not feel ready and let her leave his life. Did you get what they can literally meet a woman who's like, this is the one, and let her go, because a man has to feel like he is ready. He has to feel like he is ready. One of the first things that I teach women in my 8-week course is that a man has to feel like things are his idea. There is a part of a man, which we love, the masculine part of him, the masculine energy, that says, I'm choosing my own way. I'm taking the path that I chose. No one is forcing me. No one is coercing me. I, of my own volition, am choosing this woman, and I'm going at my pace. You are going to be on that man's program. Whoever you say yes to, whether it's yes to a relationship, yes to an engagement, yes to marriage, you are saying yes to this man. You are agreeing to be on his program. So it's very important that even though your role is more passive because you're just rejecting, you need to be careful of who you say yes to. Because you will hear me and other coaches say when you complain down the road, hypothetically, that you chose him. When you're complaining about the guy, you just sound like this, but you chose him. But you chose him. It's like buying a house. Thank you, Murphy, for the cosign. Y'all, I have almost 50% male followers. We're like 46, 48. And I love a male cosign, and I don't mind if a man says that it's wrong, because I'm trying to translate what the men say and give it to the women. But it's like you buying a house in the hood and then complaining it's in the hood. Or you buy a house that's really old and run down and complaining it's old and run down. Or you buy a house that's out of your price range and complaining that you can't afford the rent or the mortgage. You are the one buying in, okay? So it's the guy's job to entice you to say yes. It's your job to do your due diligence and see, is this the person that I want to be attached to for the rest of my life, okay? So getting back to what I was saying, if the guy says, I just want to see where things go, or I just want to have fun, I'm just doing whatever, do not flatter yourself and convince yourself that your cookie, let's just be blunt, okay? Hopefully no kids are on here. Don't think that your cookie is so special that he's going to be like, whoo, I am P-whooped. I am P-whooped, and now I'm going to put a ring on her finger, and oh my God, I've never had hoo-ha like this. I'm sorry, okay? I mean, it might be magical, but that's not, you don't hear men saying, I didn't know she was the one until she put that thing on me. That might make him want to keep coming around, but that's not going to want to make him put a ring on it and be faithful to you and loyal to you. And I will say this in every single video if I can. You don't want a man to just put a ring on your finger. You want a man who is smitten with you. You want a man who cherishes you. And the number one thing you want in a man is to be afraid to lose you. I'm not talking about fear. I'm not saying he's a coward. I'm not saying it's a one-sided relationship. I'm not saying that he's a what's the word? A simp, right? This is not a loser. This is a man who says, I understand the value of this woman. Okay. Perfect example. I'm looking at the ring, right? In the camera. I wore costume jewelry the majority of the time, right? Outside of engagement rings that I've had, I've never purchased real jewelry for myself. Never purchased, real stuff. There's no point. If I misplaced a pair of earrings or a ring that cost me $7 at Claire, $15 at Aldo, I'm probably not even turning around. Like, let's say I stayed in an Airbnb. I'm not turning around to drive back and get it, right? I'm not concerned with it. If we're about to leave, and I realize it slipped off my finger, I might take a little look around. Can I find it? I'm not tearing the house up looking for that thing, okay? If I were to lose a real piece of jewelry, I'm turning the house upside down. I'm getting a metal detector. I am stopping everything until we find where my ring is. I'm going to insure it. I'm going to do all these things to be cautious, to make sure that I keep this ring on me, right? Why am I giving this example? When a man values a woman, when a man is afraid to lose a woman, he's going to do the things that it takes to keep her happy. If you have, I hope you've never, because it's a horrible place to be, but if you've ever been in a situation where a man is just faithful to you, a man is just sticking around, you will not feel loved. You will not feel loved unless this man has a vested interest in making sure that you're happy. If something goes wrong, he wants to talk it through with you. If you express frustration, he wants to talk it through and try to figure out solutions. The ultimate goal that I have for all the women who listen to me is that you not only get a man, but you have a man who is afraid to lose you. And the same thing should be true for you with him, okay? Because everyone's like, well, what about the men? You should have a guy that you respect. If you don't respect the guy, your relationship is not going to be successful. You have to feel a level of respect. You have to look up to him with adoration. And I love the comparison with parents, and kids, which a lot of people think is like, oh, that's toxic or that's immature or that's misplaced or whatever. But thank you, Kaylee. But I think there should be a level of comparison with your father, your relationship with your father and your husband. The same thing with the guy, the relationship with the mother and the wife. It's like they're leading the way. Obviously there are obvious differences. And so thank you, Kaylee. I'll definitely either post it here or post it on Patreon. And so when it comes to the man, think of how you look at your father. Like, you look up to your father, you respect your father in a healthy relationship. There are certain things that you're not going to do to your father. You're not going to cross certain boundaries when it comes to respect. Even if he's wrong, you're still going to just honor him in a way, the way that you carry yourself and speak to him. The same thing kind of with a boss. If you maybe didn't have a good father figure in your life, think about a boss, right? They're not always right, but you always show respect. There's always a level of like, I don't want to get fired. And I don't want to say it's like a fear thing. It's a deep rooted respect. I want to show respect. But anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. At the end of the day, my point was that I went all around the trees and the bushes is you need a man who's afraid to lose you. And if you have a dude who's just there because you're convenient, your heart is going to hurt. It's just a matter of time. Give me an ouch in the comments if you've ever been in a relationship with a guy who you felt could not care less. Or maybe 1 degree. Okay, comment ouch if you've ever had a guy where you got in an argument and he could care less about making up. You dated this guy and you would express concerns and he's just like, meh, energy. Or is always threatening to leave. Well, you can leave. You can go. No one's keeping you hostage, right? It's not a good feeling. She said, ouch, too many times, right? An apathetic guy hurts like hell because the way God designed us is to be loved, cherished, and adored. You can tell this guy, hey, I feel disrespected when you da-da-da-da, and you look up and he's doing da-da-da-da-da. He doesn't care. He's not afraid to lose you. He's going to do whatever he wants to do because if he loses you, there's 15 more pretty girls with a big butt. So you have to have this in your mind that there is a drastic difference between a man who sees you, sees value in you. Initially, it starts out as an intrigue, and he's interested in getting to know you versus a guy who just said, hey, you're cute and you're fun to be around. I'll hang out. And so pay attention to how a guy acts. But if a guy straight up says to you, I don't want a relationship, run. If he's really handsome, run really fast. Okay, run really fast. If he is fun to be around, really run fast. If his beard connects, you better turn into Usain Bolt. Okay? If he's got side teeth. Now, there are guys who are not bad guys. These are not all villains. These are guys who are telling you straightforward, I don't want to be in a relationship. And they're going to do the things that you like. They are going to show up. They're going to wine and dine you. They're going to do some things. They can do all of the things. And then you go, oh my God, he's giving me boyfriend energy. Oh, he's giving me boyfriend energy. He might even give you a cute little nickname like wifey or whatever, right? He's not your man. Say it with me. He's not my man. Unless he makes a profession, Yonci, I want to be with you. I want you to be my lady. I want to be your guy. Check this box if you want to be mine, right? Unless he makes a profession, I want to be in a relationship with you. You are not in a relationship with him. So if you continue to entertain him, you have signed up for the 3-ring circus and you need to put on the big red nose and you need to paint your face because he's telling you what it is. She said, what if words don't match actions? For example, if he professes his desire to be with you, but he isn't providing the action that a man shows up and proves, then this is the opposite. Why would you want that? There are so many things that looking back at my big age, right? That I'm like, oh my God, these things were very cut and dry. But the thing is that when we're emotionally attached, it's harder to see. But here's the thing. Take yourself out of the situation and imagine if this was my daughter, if this was my niece, if this was my best friend, if this was my mom got back out in the dating world. And she said, I met this guy and he said he wants to be with me, but he's not doing any of the things he should. You'd be like, Mom, why are you entertaining him? Like, what are you doing? The first step in the process is having self-love. And self-love, and by my definition, is showing the kind of love to yourself that you would preach to your daughter, that you would preach to your best friend, that you would preach to your sister. If you wouldn't want it for them, you should not want it and allow it for yourself. Step 1 is having self-respect and self-love. Step 2 is learning how to vet men. It doesn't matter if you vet men if you don't love yourself enough to make the right decisions. But you love yourself, you have self-respect, then you vet men, and then you appeal to the man so that he's inspired to commit. Those are the 3 things we go over in my 8-week coaching program. But the very first thing is you have to feel like, why does this guy deserve me? And as somebody who was so anxious to get married at the ripe old age of 23, I felt like an old maid because everybody in my church was getting married at like 18, 19. And as soon as I was allowed to date, I immediately got engaged, immediately. And around the time we were supposed to get married, everything hit the fan. Like, it became very clear we were not a good match. But what did I do? I didn't want to deal with starting over. I didn't want to have to tell everybody, oh, just kidding, we're not going through the marriage. And a couple of other reasons that I wanted to move forward. Worst decision I could have made in my life. Because I was with a person who did not want me anymore. And if you've ever been with a man who is not interested in being with you, it is the most lonely, I can't even put it into words. It is not what we're designed to be. That's not what we're designed to be, ladies. We are not designed to be with men who have apathy towards us. We're not designed for that. So my goal is to use my platform to remind women over and over and over again, it's not enough to not be single. It's not enough to finally have the man. It's not enough to finally be able to say, oh, my man, my boyfriend. All that is worth nothing if this person's heart does not beat for you. And I'm telling you, after 8 years of singleness and 12 years of hell in my marriage, he will say the same. So it went 2 ways. We should not have been together. Night and day. Do me and my guy always see eye to eye? No. Have we had arguments? Absolutely. But you cannot compare the two. One is my best friend. One is the person that I'm always wanting to be around, and he's always wanting to be around me. Even if we have a disagreement, we can't wait to get back to the place of being in a good place. Thank you, friend. Thank you, Lala. It is night and day. And I look at the situation and I'm like, if I had to wait another 8 years to be able to have Amante, I would do it. Because I have been with apathetic guys. I attract apathetic guys like flies on honey. And it is the worst feeling ever. You're like, I hope he'll do this. I hope he'll do that. I hope he'll just call me. I hope he'll show up. And you're constantly hoping and wishing and second guessing and wondering what's wrong with you. Why am I not good enough? If anyone here is entertaining somebody who is not giving them the attention that they want during the dating phase, and you want to be honest, drop some eyeball emojis, okay? I won't even make you make a word. Just put the eyeball emojis. If anyone right now is entertaining, you're allowing him in your universe. You are allowing him to orbit your planet. And he's not up to par. He's not doing the things. He's not blowing you away. He's not pursuing you with the little eyeballs. Or you can drop a heart. Okay, this is in love. We are doing it to ourselves. And I'll tell you a story. I said it in the post. 2 weeks after a tearful goodbye, hopefully it's not disrespectful to my guy, 2 weeks, okay? I was talking to a guy. It was a vibe. He was, he was not ugly. I'm not allowed to describe him in detail. I was told by somebody, not unattractive in the least, okay? Great conversations, always laughing. Like, everything seemed like a connection. Goals in life lined up, but it wasn't progressing. And ladies, we know there's a progression. You don't just stay at one, just no progression. And did a tearful goodbye. And I even said to him, I wish you had done some like really mean nasty scum thing so I could just hate you and feel anger and the ick. And I didn't feel the ick, but I was sick of feeling like this is a one-sided situation. And 2 weeks later, I met Monte. 2 weeks later, I met the love of my life. I could have been the girl who, I'm sorry. I could have been the girl who was in this situationship and situationship and situationship and situationship. And I'll tell you what, you know it's not a healthy thing when you spend more time sad than happy. You spend more time crying than laughing. You spend more time psychoanalyzing and asking your girlfriends to interpret. And I, as a dating coach who know all of the things, was still kind of caught up, right? Because when a person doesn't show you really any red flags or any negative things or whatever, and I'm talking to my friends and, am I just being impatient? We know at the end of the day the answer. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. And I cannot guarantee you that right after you'll find him, but I have heard so many stories of people who say the same thing. I met my person right after I cleared out anybody who wasn't qualified. I don't know if it's an energy thing. I don't know what. But you think about it, right? If you're stuck and pining over this guy, if he says, oh, I'll call you later, you're going to stick around waiting for that phone call, right? So maybe you take this phone call, but you should have been out somewhere. And maybe that person you were supposed to meet was out. Or maybe you would have been on a dating app and you would have met the guy like me, right? But you're over here on the phone with this guy, time waster, T-dub, okay? Any books you recommend for dating? Absolutely. This is random, this book. But it's called Don't You Dare Get Married Until You Ask These Questions. Amazing book. Don't you dare get married until you ask this question. And it's so many questions you can ask, and it's all categorized by like type of questions. But yeah, so you want to open up this space. So here's the thing that gets women confused. The guy says in like plain English, I don't want a relationship. But what happens is he starts doing the boyfriend stuff, and then they're like, oh, but he's doing the things. Here's the thing. It's not because he's changed his mind. Can you type the name of the book? Can someone else do it if you don't mind? Don't You Dare Get Married Until You Ask These Questions. If you just type in Don't You Dare Get Married Till book, it'll pop up. But men can enjoy a woman's presence. Men can absolutely enjoy a woman's presence. And I don't even mean sex. Like, that's obvious. They can enjoy the sex, right? But men can enjoy a woman's presence. There's something amazing. Thank you, love. There's something amazing about a woman. She is a vibe. She is soft. Like men say there's something therapeutic just about a woman, laying on him or laying on a woman's chest or, especially if you're a dope woman and you're cooking and cleaning and doing all of these things. You have to stop caring about the why. Stop caring about why he doesn't want to be in a relationship and focus on the fact that he doesn't want to be in a relationship. Psychoanalyzing is going to be the death of you, the emotional death of you. Stop trying to understand and read books and ask your friends and take surveys and do research and read articles, trying to figure out how to change his mind. What lingerie to wear, what haircut to get, what things to say. If a man does not look at you and say, I cannot be without her, leave, run. You're welcome. Run. Let me say this again. If he's fine, his beard connects. He has side teeth. Both sides, side teeth. Subject verb agreement. Knows how to dress. Ooh, smells good. And is romantic, like to push you up against the wall, kiss you on your neck, all that kind of stuff. Run. You do not have the self-control that you think, and you're convincing yourself that you can walk away. You can't. Y'all gonna make me Google this book. It's Corey Donaldson, I think is the name. Don't you dare get married until you read this. Yes, that's what it's called. Corey Donaldson, and it's like blue at the bottom. Stop. Like, we are such a vibe. We are such a vibe as women. So of course they're gonna want to stick around. It's like a restaurant saying, we're going to give you the food regardless of whether or not you pay. They're not going to pay, but the food's really good. Some people are going to just show up and pay because they don't know anything else. But if a person were to show up and say, I don't have any money, and they continue to serve this person, continue to bring out bottles of liquor, continue to top them off, continue to bring out the dessert menu, what person in their right mind is going to leave? Like, I fully disclose that I'm not going to pay. And they're like, here, have the steak. If I give you more steak and more lobster and more this and more and I'll let you come back next week, do you think that's going to incentivize them to pay? No. Oh, I love that. I love that. There's always one person who's like, I needed to hear that. So I'm glad, because this was like a random live stream. Stop bringing out 5-course meals for people who should not even be allowed in the restaurant. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be nasty. You actually can be really sweet and say, oh my God, thank you so much for letting me know. There are so many guys out here who just would kind of like play the role and hope and think whatever. I really appreciate the fact that you were straight up. And he's gonna be like, oh man, she's dope. She's being cool. And then block. Okay. Whatever you need to do, do not entertain. And do not think, well, there's nobody in my orbit right now. There's nobody, kind of like in my area. There's no masculine energy. So at least I have this guy. Man, when things get really, really rough, especially in the holidays and Valentine's Day and my birthday's coming up, and I just want a guy that I can be on the phone with and he's going to tell me I'm pretty and that my butt looks cute. It's not worth it. You are sucking the air out of the space. Like you're polluting the space that should be completely void of masculine energy. You should not have any man around you who does not deserve you. Too many women don't realize it is a pleasure and a privilege to be in your company. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I don't pander. I don't say things to make women feel good. We are a vibe. What would make a man show up, profess his love, put a ring on your finger, and say, I'm going to provide for you and I'm willing to die for you? And all you have to do in return is bring good energy? Energy? Like, what job would hire you and say, I'm going to put you in this crazy suite and I'm going to give you these bonuses and pay you this and da-da-da. Just show up and have a good attitude every day. Like, that's basically what most men, just have a good attitude, okay? If that doesn't tell you that we are a vibe to be around, you have to first know your worth before anyone else will respect it. You have to know your worth. Going back to the analogy, if you have a really nice car, you're not going to leave that car in the middle of the street, let it get rain on or whatever. You're going to put it in a garage. You're going to get it serviced. You're going to get it detailed. You're going to wash it. You're not going to leave it unlocked. You're not going to leave the windows down in inclement weather. You're going to make sure you're not parking really close to other cars. But you have to know the worth of the car. And you have to know your worth. And I got to throw this in there too, okay? Just because you got a hoo-hoo does not mean that you're every man's dream, okay? No one is every man's dream, right? Let's get that through your head. Or make that clear. But you have to do the work to be the best version of yourself. You always coming through, Willie. Thank you so much, friend. Hey, Dallas. So you have to do the work. You have to be what it is that men want. And of course, after you get to know your particular guy, then you tweak it and make it, for him. But you have to be the type of woman that a man wants. And men are very simple when it comes to the base package. Okay. So if you're a woman and you have the base package and you're willing to learn what your guy likes and tweak things. Okay. He likes turquoise or he likes, you learn all that stuff. You've got value and you need to understand that. So if a man comes to you and he's not stepping up, it's not rude to dismiss him. I'm not looking to stay connected. Thank you so much. I'm not looking for any friends right now. I'm actually dating with intention. So no harm. I'm sure you're a great person, but I would like not to speak. And if he doesn't respect your boundaries, you block him. She said the hardest part is actually finding the kind of man you're interested in. Here's the thing. yes, it takes time, right? It takes time to find that perfect fit. If anyone's ever shopped for a house, you don't normally just find it the first time around. It's hard to find the neighborhood that you want and the price range that you're looking for and the number of bedrooms and things like that, right? It's not that easy. But here's the thing. Are you the type of woman that most men want as far as your base package? Because a lot of women are pretty. A lot of women are pretty and they can get attention and men will ask them out. But not a lot of women know what it is that men are into. I'm going to give you an example. A lot of women are just focused on the external. They're, I've got my look together. I'm fit. I'm whatever. And they have their checklist. I know what I'm looking for and I know what I won't do without. I know what my requirements are and they're great at vetting. But what they're missing is how to attract commitment. This is why one woman could date a guy for like a year and nothing. They just break up and he dates the next girl and he proposes within 6 months. All the women that men want are pretty and have the base package down pat. So you have to know what men want. And here's the thing. I didn't realize how severe it was until I started working with women like it one-on-one. And I hate to say this, a lot of women don't have the energy that men are looking for. I hope my numbers don't go down because right now I had the ladies with me like rah, rah, rah. So hopefully the numbers don't go down. A lot of women have work to do when it comes to personality. Yep, literally the numbers just start dropping. Literally. There either is a spirit of entitlement, which is this is what you're supposed to do, dude, and perform for me and jump through hoops and do whatever. Or it's like there's like no personality. One person is doing all the asking, doing all the energy, doing all this, and she's just like, yeah, okay, all right, blue, Jodeci, 12, like nothing there, okay. What are some of the other ones? Or just unrealistic standards or expecting things to move really, really fast. I feel that if you are, and I don't know which one you're specifically talking about, Carlos, you said how to fix that, which one? If you focus on meeting as many people as you can, that's one, right? Because he's not just going to fall through the ceiling, but also invest in understanding men. Because there are quite a few men who want to settle down. They are interested. They are wanting to be serious, but they don't see things in the woman. And they're not going to say, I don't see XYZ in you, so I'm going to move on and continue to try to find that in someone else. They're just going to say whatever to try to make you feel good. I expect clarity and attention and things shouldn't be dragging. Where women act very cold, how do you fix it? I go through, I really probably can't go into detail on this per se, but we do go a lot into depth on how to be more appealing with personality in my course. But I would just say be present. A lot of times we're so focused as women who are very, hopeless romantics. We're so far down the line, like, okay, this is a first date. The first date is the beginning of what could be forever. And we're living 12 years in the future that we're not present emotionally in the present. If you are present in the moment, you're going to see funny moments that you can comment on. You're going to see an opportunity to bond. You're going to see where he opened up and was vulnerable. And this could be an opportunity for you to like build, a connection. There are so many things that we miss out on and just being so in our head. Sometimes literally like looking down at your phone and you're doing this and there are men walking around you. There are so many lost moments that we miss just being so far down the road. A lot of women, myself, my former self included, was just so excited to have a person that I wasn't really concerned with getting to know that person. And it was like, you will do. It wasn't conscious. It wasn't, oh, you'll do. It was, okay, I have a person on the line, so let's see if we can make this work. And now, well, now obviously I'm not in the market anymore, but once I got past that, I genuinely was like, do I like this person? The same way as if I met a woman, if I met a new neighbor, if I met a coworker or whatever, I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, she might be my bestie. She might become my bestie. I'm not gonna even really think about that. I'm just gonna be like, oh, let me see how I am around her. Do I enjoy being around her? And you kind of look up like, oh, I kind of like being around her. And then she ends up being my bestie. She's not, you know what I mean? If you could kind of go that way, I think it would be helpful. But for those of you who are just tuning in, I was talking about 3 tips on how to avoid heartache. And you have to understand your value, and you have to be more selective on who you allow in your sphere. Cut men out who have access to you. When I mean access, I don't just mean sex. I'm talking about phone calls, text. No man should be able to, hey, big head you. What are you up to? What are you doing? And he's not your man. And he's not building towards being your man. He hasn't said, hey, I want to get to know you. And if this, going somewhere, great, we'll take it to the next level. If he's not coming in with intention, do not let him, like a vampire, suck that out of you. We are nurturers by nature. Stop nurturing people who are not sowing into your garden. Stop. And a great point Willie just made. Easily accessible women are a huge turnoff. You should not be able to have people access to you. One of the tips you can use is, and you have to be careful that it doesn't you don't have this snotty attitude, but imagine if you were some really famous person, right? Like some famous, well sought after singer or famous actress or model or whatever. Would you let every Tom, Dick, and Harry have your phone number? Would you let every dude just sit there breathing on your phone? Would you let every dude come over and fill you up or do more? No, right? You have to carry yourself in a way, and that's just someone who's famous. You have value intrinsically. You need to be okay with your solitude. You need to be okay with your singleness. You need to be okay with the dry phone, right? Like you blow on it and dust comes. You need to be okay with that. Because guess what? Everyone should not have your number. Okay? I'm trying to date a coworker and she flirts back, but doesn't want to hang out. And we flirted hard. I mean, hard with each other, but she didn't want to hang out. Am I doing something wrong? You are only doing something wrong if you are trying to make something happen that's not happening. She might be someone who's just having fun and flirting innocently. Some people flirt like it's an Olympic sport. I would say if you asked her to hang out, yeah, it is a terrible idea to date a coworker. I married a coworker. But it is. If you put it out there and she does not take it from there, because dating is like this dance. If you put it out there and she doesn't reciprocate, I would move on. If you were my son, I was giving you advice, move on. Know your worth too. This is not a one-way street. Know your worth, queen. No, know your worth, king. Women, when we like someone, he finally asked me out. No, we're not dodging dates. We're not dodging opportunities to hang out. We're actually having to pull ourselves back like, girl, stop being so easy. But I would absolutely pull back and let her make the first move. I would not psychoanalyze. That's one of the biggest things. Women don't psychoanalyze. People are straightforward. What do you do during the dry season? Great question. Okay, we go over this in my course. You have to create a life that is fabulous, that is wonderful. Too many women wait with this fantasy that one day when my guy comes, I'm going to do all of these things. I am going to do Christmas pajamas. I'm going to do the pumpkin patch. I'm going to do I'm going to do a sip and paint. Start doing those things now. And I don't mean push a man out of the picture and not have space for him. What I mean is you need to romanticize your life. Start living the life that you want. Start going and doing the things. I challenge all of my clients to book yourself. Don't book yourself to the point you run yourself down and you're worn out, but book yourself 2 to 4 times a month. Go to that festival, go by yourself. And I give you tips on how to do it if you feel awkward, being by yourself. Willie, it's here. Don't worry, it's here. They were saying I was blinding them earlier, so I started using my right hand. But go out, go do your things. Don't go in packs. Women think that, I'm going to go in pack of girlfriends. No, packs of girlfriends are man repellent. You want to keep men away? Have a pack of hyenas. I mean, a pack of girlfriends. Men, men are not trying, most men, 99.999%, quote me on that, are not trying to approach a pack of hyenas. He says snitching season. They're not. So don't go in a pack, okay? Go by yourself, go places, be around men. If you haven't gotten my free resource, click on my bio, and I have 22 great places to meet men offline. I'll give you the number one tip off the top of my head: car wash, Saturday morning. Car wash. Wear a sundress. If you don't know, ask a guy friend. Wear a sundress. Put your phone down. I don't care if you have to bring a crossword puzzle because you're bored in the lobby. Don't have your phone. Wear a sundress. Minimal makeup. Okay? Get like the longest thing that takes, get full detailing, whatever. And, someone said, what's one book that had a great impact on you? Untethered Souls was pretty much of a game changer. I second the sundress advice. Okay. But read that. Go get really busy. Okay. And you can't rush the process. Like when you're meet the person is when you're going to meet the person, but you have to go out and do the things. Stop making excuses. I don't like dating online because weirdos are online. Weirdos are all around you. Weirdos are all around you. They're behind you at Walmart. They're in front of you at the grocery store. They're probably next door to you. They're all around you. Stop using excuses. If you're single, you don't have the luxury of being selective of which irons are going in the fire. You better take all the irons. All of the irons. All of them. Okay? Any opportunity you have to meet someone, take it. And 60+% of people meet online nowadays, so get over yourself. I'm sorry, sister. I got an absolute amazing man on a dating app. I don't give a crap how he came to me. He could have showed up in a Ziploc, but I don't care. Dating app, in person, friend's wedding, I don't care. Sorry, I get so triggered when people are like, I don't like meeting people this way, and I don't like meeting people this way, and I don't like meeting people on Tuesdays, and I don't like meeting people when the sun is in the sky, and I don't like meeting people when there are insects on the, go outside. Okay. Yes, by Michael Singer. He's probably dead. Okay, what else did I want to say? So if the guy says he doesn't want to be in a relationship, run. Don't be bamboozled if he starts doing boyfriend things. Run. It doesn't matter why he's doing it. It doesn't mean he's changed his mind. It just means he wants to do those things because it's fun to do those things, and you're giving him girlfriend energy. Doesn't mean he changed his mind. Your cookie is not going to make him change his mind. Nothing is going to make him change his mind unless he says, I changed my mind. But you don't wait until a man says that. You leave. Go look up Bishop R.C. Blake's story. He was with this amazing woman. He said he didn't want to get married again because he'd already been married. I guess he had gotten hurt or whatever. And she gave him moved on, was dating a professional athlete, moved all the way on, wasn't lingering. If they had IG stories back then, she wasn't watching his IG story. She moved on. And then he decided that's who he wanted, and he went and got her. You leave. If a man says, you're not what I want, or I'm just not in the position to get married, or I don't want a relationship, leave, okay? The second thing is stop going into dating with the sole idea of I want to impress this guy. If you are the type of person who gets so nervous when a guy asks for your number or he asks you out and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to wear? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? Da, 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 da. And after the date, you're calling your girlfriends and you're like, I said this and he said that. What does this mean? Da, 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 da. You are having too much focus on the man. It's a dance. It's an absolute dance. Yes, you should be concerned with how you're coming across. You should not be aloof. You should not just be like, whatever. But it should not be, he should not have all the power. What I mean by all the power is he should not be the only one making a decision if he likes you or not. This is a two-way street. You also need to like him. Boy must like girl, girl must like boy. And if both of them like each other, then you move on, right? Too many girls are just like, oh, does the boy like me? Does the boy like me? Does the boy like me? Yay, get out, get out, get out. Yes. So you need to focus on vetting. Do you even know what you want in a man? And if this is stuff that's like foreign to you and you've never had like a list or you've never known what to prioritize, ask me about my 8-week coaching program. We work this in week 1. We go over all the things. You should have this list so clear in your head that when you meet him, it's like, or ding, ding, ding. And it doesn't take a long time to dismiss. Too many people are letting men come into their lives, linger, loiter, do lots of physical things, and they don't even measure up. Stop torturing yourself, because the more time we spend, we get attached. Men fall in love in a man's presence. So the more time we spend, the more we're going to be attached. Fun fact, men fall in love in a woman's absence, which is why you got to let him miss you. Give him the gift of missing you. Okay? And that's a lot of times the guy goes, oh, I think I like her because I'm thinking about her when she's not in my presence. Free game, y'all. What else? Marriage is for a lifetime. So stop getting excited about being taken off the market. Nobody gives a crap if you're off the market, if you're with someone who's not your person. You want a person who actually likes you, not just thinks that you have a sick body, likes you. They care if your feelings are hurt. They want to impress you. They want to please you. They want to take their ego and, push it down. Because, when you're arguing, you can come from a place of ego or you can come from a place of, I want to save this relationship. And if you get a guy who actually likes you, he's not going to come from a place of ego. Thank you, Jacob. Okay. Is there such a thing as being too single? I don't even know what that means, sir. You don't want to be miserable. I strongly suggest that at the very least, right? If you guys don't even want to take the 8-week course, you're like, oh, that's too much of a commitment, too much of an investment, whatever. At least start with my classes. My classes, you can go to chasingyonci.com/shop. Or just go to chasingyonci.com and you'll see the buttons. But go in there and get top 10 qualities to look for in a mate. Okay, I go over the top 10 things. This is somebody who was married for 12 years, walked away, chose divorce, and was single for 8 before meeting the love of my life. These are things that I think are very important, that are just characteristics in a person that makes them a decent human being and makes them enjoyable to be around for a lifetime. So watch that kind of stuff. It's called Don't Settle, Sis. It's like yellow picture, okay? But take some of the stuff. Start to educate yourself so that you can vet men. Because remember we said you have the self-respect phase where you build yourself up, you become the best version of yourself. Then you get picky, you start to vet men, but you also have to know how to attract a man, inspire him to commit. So 3 parts: become the best version of yourself. Then you have to learn how to vet, weed through all the riffraff. And then when you have a guy who actually is qualified, how do you inspire him to commit? Okay, you got to learn those 3 things, which we go over all that in my course. How did you find the strength, courage to keep putting yourself out there over and over again? Lots of breaks. I took mental health breaks. There were times where I got so frustrated, overwhelmed, stressed, discouraged, and I paused any apps I was on. I shut down. I took breaks. I didn't just keep going out there, because I wouldn't even be the freshest, best version of myself if I just went out there willy-nilly. I waited until I was ready to have energy to go out there again, because it takes a lot out of you. If you're like open and vulnerable and transparent and you keep going, you'll get burnt out. How do you answer, why are you single? I get bombarded and overwhelmed. I would say, I'm going to guess the same reason why you are. I'd say it a silly way like that. Or I'd be like, what do you mean? Or you can give I haven't met the right one yet. Which dating apps did you try? I tried all of them. All of them. I tried all of them. What else? Here's another tip. 3rd tip. This is the 3rd one. I was on here so much longer than I expected to. But if you stuck around, here's number 3. Here's a number 1 rule. If it's confusing, leave. If you are stumbling around in the dark, searching for Blue's Clues on your hands and knees, leave. Hopefully somebody can write that in the comment. If it's confusing, leave. What are we? I don't know. Does he want marriage in the future? I don't know. If you are confused, leave. Men who are interested are crystal clear. All right, my people are just showing up, so I am going to wrap this. Perfect timing. I don't know if anybody stuck around for all 3 tips. Hopefully it was helpful. I will more than likely post this on my Patreon page. So if you are not on Patreon, you better shimmy on over there if you want to watch this. It's patreon.com/Yonci, and you can get the playback. But ladies, watch this on repeat. Listen to it in your sleep. Learn from me. Don't do the things that I did. I want every single one of you to not just be in a relationship, but be in a relationship with somebody who adores you, cherishes you, and is actually afraid to lose you. It is the only way for women to feel loved. He said, we are farmers. You are silly, Willie. It rhymes. Final thing I will leave you with, 8-week coaching program. It's a couple weeks away. It is December. It starts in December. Hey, Tay, thank you. If you haven't signed up and haven't gotten the information for my 8-week coaching program, you can go ahead to the link in my bio. They're trying to get me to laugh so bad off camera. Go to the link in my bio and click discovery call, and you could set up a call with me. We talk about it because it's an investment, so I want to make sure it's the right fit for you. Go ahead and click that link, schedule, get on my calendar, and we will schedule it. Oh, thank you. Lynn said the class is worth it, ladies. We have a lot of fun. And again, if you're not ready to dive in head first, you can take my classes. It's chasingyonci.com/shop. All right, guys, have a good night, and I wish you all love.